In the headlines, Kaduna State Security Council imposes 24-hour curfew on Kaduna and Zaria metropolis city. Hunger protest enters day 5 as demonstrators vow to continue. Nigeria and Malaysia issue UK traveling warning. And on the foreign scene, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina resigns as interim government takes over in Bangladesh. Hello, welcome to News Updates on Trust TV. I am Lilian Ogazi. Now, on the hunger protests, rising from a meeting of the Kaduna State Security Council, Governor Obasani has imposed a 24-hour curfew on Kaduna and Zaria and environs. After a review of the security situation in the state, the council resolved that there was sufficient evidence to conclude that the ongoing protests had been hijacked by criminal elements who had resorted to looting of shops and destruction of private and public properties. A statement on Monday: in light of the development, citizens are being advised to remain indoors while security forces continue to work to maintain safety and security. A statement on Monday signed by Samuel Arwan, the overseeing commissioner of the Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs, explained that the situation would be periodically monitored to determine the need for a review of the curfew. Now, earlier we spoke to Trust TV's Bello Musa and he gives us an update. Take a look.
The protest has been hijacked, obviously, by a bad element, because today lootings were recorded and destruction of property by the protesters. That led to the noble decision of the Kaduna State Security Council to impose 24 hours curfew in Zaria and environs, and also Kaduna metropolis, because, as I said in the morning, there was a lot of violence in different locations within the metropolis this morning, where there was tear gassing of protesters, and there was looting and vandalizing public and private property within the metropolis here. So the situation in Kaduna is very tense. Maybe the curfew being imposed by the state government, maybe the situation will be under control.
So what about the organizers of the protests in Kaduna State? Any update from them?
There is no update, because yet there is no any arrest of the protesters. As I said earlier, the protest is obviously hijacked by bad element, because what happens today, the protest started peacefully in the morning, but what happened along the line, the bad elements came in and started destroying of property, and also looting people's property, and also snatching of funds as well.
That's really sad. This development does not speak well of the protest. But security agents, have they said anything about the current situation and how they're handling this?
No, the only response from the security agencies maybe this curfew imposed by the state government, because prior to the impose of the curfew, there was a meeting of the security council, I guess, so because the release from the commissioner of internal security, Samuel Arwan, said after the security council, after studying the situation, the unfortunate incident that emanated today, they decided to impose the curfew in order to actually contain the violence in the metropolis and also in Zaria and environs.
Hoodlums who disguise to be protesting #EndBadGovernance have engaged in vandalization of public property in parts of Zaria metropolis. The youth who converged at Kofa Doka vandalized the barricade of ongoing overhead bridge under construction and carted away with all the zincs and woods. The hoodlums also vandalized the APC office at Kofa Doka, Zaria, smashing glasses and snatching furniture. Similarly, the hoodlums at Dogarawa attempted to set ablaze the Sabangari local government secretariat that is undergoing modernization, but were later dispersed with tear gas by the police after vandalizing some equipment and facilities at the secretariat. At Damagaji Zaria, the youth intended to burn down the police station but were resisted by the reinforced team of security. Unconfirmed reports indicated that one person is feared shot, with few others injured as a result of intensive tear gas. All right, joining us now via phone is Daily Trust reporter Abubakar Sadiq from Zaria to give us an update. Abubakar, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much and good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So tell us what exactly is happening in Zaria. We've seen the news. Tell us more. Give us an update on what's going on.
Yes, following the convergence of the youth this morning, they had earlier converged at Kofa about, which is the center heart of Chikunwada here in Zaria, and they started the protest in a very peaceful manner. But later on, it's like the criminal element has disguised itself and they halted into the protesters, thereby embarking on vandalization. They started with vandalizing the barricade fence around the undergoing constructed bridge at Kofanduka there and snatching the zincs and the woods and all this. Then they later proceeded to the APC secretariat, which is just close by, just 3 meters from the runabout, and smash all the glasses, broke into the office, and steal the furniture there. Well, it was even with the help of the protesters that actually the vandalization could not occur in the individual shops, because some elements decided to break some shops because it's a commercial nerve center. But some of the protesters, especially the leaders, actually prevented the element from breaking into individual shops. And later on, we learned that at the Sabangari local government secretariat, the hoodlums also went there trying to set the secretariat ablaze. But with the intervention of the security, that would not happen. They succeeded in smashing the glasses, breaking the windows and doors, panels, and also stealing some items and equipment in the secretariat. Where the whole incident was trying to become bloody was at the Damagaji police station, where the protesters decided to override the police and went into the police station, I think with the intention of setting it ablaze. And the police quickly looked for reinforcement of both the army and the police, and that was where shooting took place. The police had to resort into shooting on the air instead of firing a tear gas that they've been using, because the protesters were able to resist the tear gas. Once the tear gas was thrown to them, they'll pick it up before it's blown up and turn it back to the police. So they resolved into shooting in the air. And on report has it that 2 people were feared dead during the incident, but we have not yet confirmed that.
All right.
Yes.
So currently, what's the situation of things like there in Zaria? Has it calmed down? Are people out and about their normal business, or it's still a bit tensed? Now, we learned there's a curfew, so has the curfew been adhered to?
Yeah, it has been very effective because the main road is now deserted. Okay. That is where the protesters were marching on. But within the ghetto areas, people are still moving from one line to another. But all the main roads have been deserted. You can only see the security personnel moving up and down. So the curfew is taking effect as of now.
All right. Thank you very much, Abubakar Sadiq, for that update. Definitely, we're going to be joining you much later also to get further update on what is happening right there in Zaria. Thank you for joining us. All right, that was our colleague there, Abubakar Sadiq, speaking to us and giving us an update from Zaria. Now, still joining us from Jos, we have Trust TV's Ado Musa to also give us an update on what is happening in Jos. Thank you, Ado, for joining us.
Thank you, Lilian.
All right, Ado, we learned that a curfew has been imposed in Jos. How is that going?
Well, indeed, the curfew has been imposed since yesterday. And even though everywhere is calm at the moment, but then again, some hours before this time, we had reports of some hoodlums who attempted to break some houses to loot their properties. We also have some reports of hoodlums from other places who also made attempt to break into shops, especially at the Yankwali market, to loot their properties. But with the help of security agencies who had to make a kind of further deployment of personnel, everything has been contained at the moment. So everywhere is peaceful, and the security agencies were able to contain the situation.
Okay, so you're saying that at the moment, Plateau Jos is peaceful and everything has been contained?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Ado, for that update. We're definitely going to call you also for more updates as the day goes by. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, thank you very much.
Earlier on the news, we also spoke to Trust TV's Abdullahi Yamadi from Katsina. Take a look.
Well, earlier this morning, the protesters performed special prayers against bad governance before they took to streets of Katsina metropolis, protesting against what they called the insensitivity of the government. You could recall from the first and second day, the protesters in Katsina decided to relax the exercise, expecting some outcomes from the state actors. But the president's speech yesterday was a little bit what angered the protesters. Because what they are saying is they thought the president will address some of their problems, or rather the plight of Nigerians. But however, to their own surprise, the speech was a little bit empty and not even trying to address the challenges of hunger, starvation, corruption, and so on and so forth that is benevolent some or rather greater percentage of Nigerians. So they were all out and determined to continue with the protest this morning. Even though they were confronted with some resistance from security agencies who barricaded some routes leading to some important places in the ancient city of Katsina. For instance, a road leading to Sabar Ungwa, one of the major notorious spots in Katsina, was barricaded by police and other security agencies. And of course, road leading to the government house was also barricaded, even though the protesters took some major roads to conduct their protest. For instance, IBB Way, Nagogo Road, Yahya Madaki Way was used by the protesters. They were, however, tear gassed by security agencies. But up to this moment, even though the police and other security agencies are saying they are on top of the situation, the protest is ongoing.
We've heard of violent attacks happening in Katsina State. Were you able to compile, what really transpired? And today, what did the protesters do to warrant the security agencies to tear gas them? Or is it just because there's a particular road they don't want them to use?
Well, the security agencies are saying the protesters are trying to loot some public and private properties. And the protesters are saying no. All they want to show is that the country is being governed by people that are being insensitive, and of course, the only thing they want to show, they want to do is to ensure a peaceful protest, to ensure that Nigerians understand that they are in a very serious difficulty, and of course, not in any way trying to loot any shop or any public or private property. And so far, the police public relations officer, from what transpired last week, he said they arrested over, or rather close to 100 people, and they have taken about 70 people to court this morning. And they are on top of the situation. That is exactly what the protesters and, of course, the security agencies are saying.
The End Bad Governance protests converged at the Gani Fawemi Freedom Park, Ojota on Monday to continue their demonstration despite the nationwide broadcast by President Bola Tinubu. The determination to continue the protest follows a Sunday statement by the organizers, signed by Hassan Taiwo, Ayoyinka Oni, and Adeboyega Deniji, on behalf of the End Bad Governance Nigeria Organizing Committee, saying the address by President Bola Tinubu had yet addressed their demands. The report.
It's day 5 of the End Bad Governance protest here in Lagos State, and we're currently at Ojota. As you can see from behind, protesters are out still making demands about what they need the government to do, the lives they want the government to improve, and also asking the government to provide food because people are hungry. Also, normalcy is getting back to Lagos because transport workers are back to doing their businesses, shops are open, stores are getting open, and people are getting back to doing their various businesses. We speak to some protesters who are here to hear their demands and hear what they have to say to the government. We even the government, the president's speech yesterday.
The president has not addressed us. He was probably addressing his cabinet or the House of Reps. He has not addressed us. In the whole of his speech, did you hear hunger? Share if you speak in English. You hear when he talk hunger, when he mention hunger for a month. You hear him. It's not in his speech. Go and read it. I read all through. Maybe I wasn't hearing clearly. No mention of hunger. People are protesting because of hunger. So what are you speaking about? What is the speech about if it's not addressing hunger? We are saying we are hungry. We are not saying give us food, give us jobs. We say give us food. That's the least anybody can beg you for. We are hungry. We cannot afford food. How else do we say it? The president has not addressed anything.
We are in the mess. Every year, we are keep hearing one story. We need a change of government. We need to end this one and for all. And we cannot go back home without getting what we are fighting for. Our leader has just deceiving us. They are paying themselves, but they are not paying us. And you are telling me that we don't have money. You are not giving us school. You are not giving us education. You are not giving us hospital. You are not giving us water. You are not giving us light. The one that we are buying for, you are still increasing. The food that we are suffering, before we get money and buy it, now we cannot even buy rice. How can a reasonable government, when you leave power, somebody leave power when he has 100 trillion, and you come your home, you shop the money finish?
No to repression. We will continue to be here till government yields to our demands.
I want the government to remove subsidy, to bring down the price of things. Things are too expensive. To feed is hard. I have twins. To buy pampers is hard. Things are not easy. You make...
Moving on now, a Nigerian tailor, simply identified as Ahmed, has been arrested in Kano after 7 Russian flags were found on him. Some of the End Bad Governance protesters in the north have been flying the Russian flag, calling on the Russian government to come and help them. Over the weekend, photos of some of the protesters waving the Russian flag made the rounds on social media. A video of some tailors making the flags have also made the rounds on social media. Now on Sunday, August 4th, President Tinubu had a nationwide broadcast in which he cautioned protesters against being used to advance an agenda that could potentially undermine democratic progress. As the End Hunger protest continues, artisans and menial job operators are finding it difficult to fend for their family as the protest crippled their businesses. Trust TV's Bello Musa, who went around Kaduna Metropolis, reports that the operators are calling on the president to do all it can to bring succor to the masses.
The protest has paralyzed business activities in Kaduna State. Traders most affected by the protest are those who rely on daily income for survival. To be honest, we are facing hardship. We come out daily to fend for our family, but this protest has caused us more hardship. Price of materials have gone up as many businesses are still closed. It has affected my business. We can see that there is no patronage. I am sitting alone. They are appealing to government to bring succor to the masses. The solution is to bring back the fuel subsidy because it is the only way to help the masses. We are appealing to government to listen to our cries. People are protesting because they have been pushed to the wall. Though businesses are picking in some areas, some parts of the state still remains calm and quiet. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Following a weekend of unrest, Nigeria and Malaysia have become the first countries to issue a UK travel warning to their nationals. A warning was issued by the Nigerian Interior Minister Monday morning, citing an increased risk of violence and disorder occasioned by the recent riots in the UK. A statement released by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Abuja on Monday and signed by Eche Abuore Obe said the violence has assumed dangerous proportions as evidenced by reported attacks on law enforcement agents and damage to infrastructure. To this end, citizens are advised to be extra vigilant and take measures such as avoiding political processions and protests, rallies or marches, avoiding crowded areas and large gatherings, and being vigilant and self-aware at all times. Malaysia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs published an alert on Sunday advising Malaysians living in or visiting the UK to stay away from protest areas and remain vigilant. Many countries around the world, including the US, Germany and Denmark, issued travel advice to their citizens following riots in England in summer 2011. Now away from Nigeria, the Army Chief of Bangladesh says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has resigned after weeks of unrest. Her aide said she fled the capital Dhaka by helicopter. In an address to the nation, General Waka Uzzaman also says an interim government will be formed to run the country. Thousands of people take to the street to celebrate while many storm the Prime Minister's official residence. Demonstrations that began last month over governmental job quotas had expanded into a nationwide unrest. Students have been marching on Dhaka to demand justice for some 300 people killed since last month. And in sports, the Junior Tigers of Nigeria made it 3 wins in 3 games with a 70-60 victory over host Côte d'Ivoire at the ongoing FIBA African Under-18 basketball qualifiers taking place in Abidjan. In earlier group games, the Tigers had defeated Ghana 72-47 in the first match and then trashed Liberia 82-49 in the second game. The game against host Côte d'Ivoire was intense and very gritty, as it brought the vivacity, tenacity and innate talent of coach Humphrey Fubara Oyanabo tutored lads to the fore. By this victory, the J Tigress picked the sole ticket to represent FIBA Zone 3 at the finals of FIBA African Under-18 basketball tournament slated to hold later this year in South Africa. Nigeria, who already have 7 Under-18 titles in its credit pouch, would now play to reach their 12th final round as well as aim at an 8th title. The final qualifiers in South Africa would serve as a qualification opportunity for the FIBA Under-19 World Championship. With that, we've come to the end of news updates here on Trust TV. Do also follow us across all our social media platforms for more news, more programs, and more documentaries. Thanks for watching. I am Lilian Ogazi. Bye for now.